Hi everybody, it's James here. I promised to make a video about how we work remotely from work, and I wanted to introduce a couple of tools to you. So the first one that I am going to do is called Trello. Just a quick background on who I am. Most of you will know that I'm James van Hoofen from Vein Digital. I am also one of the board members of the E-commerce Forum Africa, where we're really trying to push e-commerce into Africa, and then also a nonprofit that is called Leaderless, and its goals is to teach people how to use technology to take ownership of their own lives. So with that, I am going to quickly switch over to Trello. If you go to Trello.com, it is an online tool a free online tool that makes it possible for you and a team to work together collaboratively. It's one of the tools that we've used in the past. We then moved over to something else that also didn't work for us because we've got very specific needs. We eventually decided to build something out of our own, but that took many years. I think just to get started, to try and use something free like Trello, which is absolutely phenomenal. Get onto that, and basically what it is the equivalent of a corkboard that you would have in the office, and then the corkboard would be split up into columns of things that need to be done, things that are currently in progress, and the things that are done. We make use of the Agile project management methodology. We have since scaled down quite a bit because we don't need all of the stuff that Agile offers, but it is an incredibly great way of getting everybody to collaborate and work together. So now it is going to take a monumental shift. I do believe that humanity as a whole is going through a huge shift right now. And I'll discuss more of those points a little bit later. But for now, what I've promised is to do a couple of videos to get everybody working remotely. We've been doing this since 2011. We have teams that are local here in South Africa. Then we've got a team that's overseas, and in order to get that done, it makes sense to use all of the online tools that I'm going to discuss. So the first one is Trello, and the reason for that is that everybody is held accountable, and you can actually see things moving along. Instead of not knowing what's going on, you can actually have a virtual board that everybody has got sticky notes on, that they list their tasks, and then they move the tasks from to do, doing, and done. I'm going to keep it as simple as that. I'm not going to use the Agile project management methodologies or the naming conventions. I'm just going to simplify it. Do look into Agile project management. It is mostly used for software development, but it can be adapted for anything. So Trello is used from planning weddings to social media content, you name it. It is an incredibly great tool for a lot of those kind of things, pretty much anything. So first thing you want to do is you want to create an account. So you go to sign up over here. I've already signed up, but basically you would choose either your Gmail account or a work account, and you would also sign up. You would also have all of your other colleagues sign up as well. You can do that once you've set up the board. So let's do that. I'm first going to log in. So I'm going to log in with my Gmail account. So James van der Hoofen. Let's just go James. Oops, I can do this. Log in with Google. Okay, and I choose my Gmail account. And we say continue with Google, continue. Okay. Right, and now once you are, so the company Atlassian, they very recently bought out Trello for a couple of $1 million. So you'll see that it first goes to Atlassian, then it goes to Trello, just so that you can know that that is what's happening. Now you can see we've got plenty of boards, plenty boards, and this is one of the problems that we had, is that for our needs, Trello doesn't do exactly what it is that we need to do. But if you're a single company and you've got a couple of clients, or you've got a single project that you're working on, this is a really good tool. So what happens is that you create a new board and you click on the plus button over here. you say, well, first of all, you can create a team. So you click on create a team, and then whatever the team's name is, that could be the company's name, and then the team type, whether it's a project, business, education, marketing. This is just to kind of help Trello understand the niche that you're in. And then the next thing that you do is you create a board. So I'm going to say create a board, and this board I'm just going to call company X, Y, Z or Z. Okay, and we'll say it's not related to a team. Okay, and then we say create a board. All right, there was a step that I missed there, that you can choose background colors and so on, just to make it a bit more, a bit nicer. So now what you're faced with is, if this was a virtual, or if this was a cork board in an office, you would have lists over here. So here it would be the things that need to be done, so to do, and then the column doing, and then we have the normal, the last one will be done normally, but we have one that says to check and then done. Now, the reason that the to check one is there is so that people can very quickly move things over into to check, and then somebody else checks the work before it actually goes back to the client and they say that things are done. What we have found over time is that some of the new people that we bring on board, they don't quite understand what the definition of done is. So done needs to be done. So we introduced the to check column so that somebody else can check it prior to it actually going, and that's normally the project manager. So the project manager would actually check that. So now what you have is you would have a in Agile Project Management, you would have a day set where you can do all of your planning. Now that planning really depends on how big the project is. In Agile Project Management, the given bulk of work is normally called a sprint. I'm not going to get into that too much, but it normally is about 2 weeks that you do planning for. That can be 2 weeks to months, and then it really depends on how you break those chunks of work up into what is called sprints, and within this, and each batch of work that is done is the completion of the sprint. So we do weekly sprints because we don't do massive projects. We do medium-sized projects, I would say. We don't focus on a particular project or product. That means that we need to plan for months and months in advance. Most of our projects are making sure that we are looking after existing clients, and the reason for that is that that is the consistent. You get more work out of your existing clients than or 80%. You get 80% of new work from existing clients, as opposed to pursuing leads, which takes up an enormous amount of time. That which would be the big project once they come in. For example, we have about 5 or 6 big projects in the pipeline, but they are being nurtured, so it takes a long time to actually get them through the pipeline, and then they finally sign, and then we get the project started. So we focus a lot on the small tasks and new work that we can do for existing clients. It's the 80-20 rule. 80% of your works come from 20% of your clients. So now we sit together and we say we sit together on a Friday. Most of the time it's a Friday, because Friday is the kind of a wind down day, and we spend the entire day planning. And the reason for it is that when you have a team of people, it makes sense that everybody is involved and everybody is held accountable. So you would then, everybody gets given a task and say, okay, this needs to be done, and this needs to be done, and this needs to be done. Who's going to take care of that task? Somebody puts up their hand and says, okay, I'm going to take care of that task. And then you discuss about how long that task is going to take you to do. And the reason why it takes so long, the entire day, to plan, is that come Monday, nobody should have a single question to ask. There should be no more questions. You should know exactly where the files are located that you need to be working on. You need to know exactly where to find the content, for example, if that is what you are doing in our kind of space anyway. But it can apply to any kind of business. You just need to get creative about how you then apply it to a business that manufactures something, for example. Now, this would work really well if you had a bunch of tablets and in the current situation that is Corona, where you have to have social distancing, you make sure that everybody is standing 2 meters away from one another, and they can still get work, vital work that needs to be done. As long as there is if everybody had their own phone and they're only dealing with their own phone, they can actually launch this on the app and they can move tasks into done. So if you are building something and you've done a part, you can say, okay, I've moved that part, it's now in the to check thing, and everybody is updated. Your phone actually pings and says this person has moved a card, and they can then check that everybody is being held accountable, everybody is doing the work. So just as an example, I'm going to say add a card, and let's say here we have to say design a logo. Now that can be anything for the client, so whether that's manufacturing or if that is something in the service related industry, these are all the tasks that somebody is going to do. So the next thing you want to do is, you are not being polite, you are not being nice, you are not doing anything, you are just putting down instructions. Then you say design 2 options of logos based on meeting notes. Then you can say, and shorthand, you can use these like a dash, and it automatically will create bullet points for you. Then you can say notes can be found in the Google Drive at V. We have Google Drive, and I'll discuss that a little bit later. And everybody is set up with the drive letter V for vein, and then it'll be projects, and this company we named company XYZ, and in that we will have marketing. Let's call that marketing, and within that business cards. Okay, and then notes can be found there, and then design files can be found in the Google Drive here. Company XYZ business cards. Let's just call this business card.psd. Now that is a Photoshop file. That can be anything. So that can be a Word document, that it can be an Excel spreadsheet. The point being that when somebody comes onto this on Monday, they must know exactly where to find the file. They must know where to find the notes and. So now you save that. You can see that it's created the bullet points. You assign that to your team member. So now you say assign that to James, and James would then know. If 2 people are working on the same task, each person should have a task. They should have a card. And the reason for that is that you need to hold people accountable. So it doesn't make any sense to have one task and put 2 people on it. You need to be able to see people actually moving their own cards. So yes, it's going to be a duplicate card, but they actually move those cards along themselves so that everybody is on board and they can see that people are working. Now, what you can do is you can add more people by inviting them over here. So I'm just going to add Paula as an example. Now why is Paula not showing? There she is there. Okay, so I say send invitation to Paula. Okay, if I now click on this, I can change that member to say Paula, and I can take this one off, and there we go. So now Paula comes in on Monday. So now we fill this. We spend the entire day discussing every single element. Write content for website. Okay, and you can start using keyboard shortcuts. If you go Shift and /, that brings up the keyboard shortcuts. I find that very, very useful to get things done very quickly here. Here you would say communicate. And remember, there's no pleases, no thank yous. It's just get the work done. Communicate with client to get photos and written content from the copywriter. Okay, and again, this might be, I'm going to assign this one to me now, and we say I'll just say join there, so that task is going to be mine. Okay, so now you fill this up, fill this all up. You can then say there are other features over here where you can say the due date. If there is a particular thing that needs to be done faster than something else, you can say due date, and you can say this needs to be on this particular date, before Wednesday, for example. The client wants to have that back. There are also, so you can choose to watch a particular card because it's very important to you. You can add cover images. So if there is a cover image that you wanted to attach to this, it'll bring up an image over here. You can also attach images to this when you're discussing certain things. So you hit the attachment, and then you can upload an image from the file and so on. So there are other features that you can switch on and off over here. You'll see that the URL here changes. As soon as you click on something, it changes, right? So you can copy that, and then if you're using chat, which I'll discuss in another topic, you can then very quickly send that off to somebody in Hangouts or Skype or one of whichever channel you're busy talking to. Then you send that to that person and say, please have a look at this card. It needs to get done faster, or whatever the situation might be. So Paula would come in here on Monday and she starts getting work done. Everybody gets notified. So I keep this thing over here, and Paula moves the card. She works. We said it's going to take 2 hours, and then to design this logo, or 8 hours, or depending on what how complicated something might be. If we've got a full design already, and a clear indication from the client, then we'll know. And then she designs. She moves it to check. I will then come in, or somebody else might come in, and we check the logos. We go back on it, and we say, no, please do this again, and then move that back to do. Once Paula has moved this from there to there, and I've checked it, and everything is good, we'll move that to done. And only at the end of the week do we then notify the client which is the sprint. Do we then notify the client that is actually the work that's been done, and we can send them the examples. They can say, yes, I love it. No, we need to make some changes and so on, and then we send it out. So we communicate that beforehand with the client. We explain what a sprint is. We explain how our process works, so that they start getting used to the fact that come Friday, every Friday, we have different WhatsApp groups for all of our clients, and we check in with them and we say, listen, we're doing our planning today. Is there any work that needs to be done this week? So we check in with them. We get all the work that we need out of them, and then we list that all, and then we make sure we communicate. And I can't stress that enough. That is what my business coach taught me: over communicate. And Trello is just a communication tool at the end of the day. It is a way to keep communication flowing, make sure that everybody's on the same board, and we can get stuff done. So that's Trello. Introduce it in your team. Get creative about how you want to use it. There is, if I remember correctly, there's Trello board examples, something like that. You can just Google something like that, and you can see here's templates that other people have done for engineering and education and marketing and HR, you name it. There's a whole bunch of example boards that people have used. We very specifically chose the Agile project management methodology. It took us some time to adopt, but over time we've really appreciated the time that we've put in, because it's really starting to make sense to us. It's just in a very different way of getting people to work together and then knock work out. And it also builds a lot of trust in the team. So I would really encourage everybody to adopt agile project management methodology. You're probably going to find that you need to adjust it. So if you've been on the waterfall method of doing things, you might want to mix it up and bring certain things in together that makes sense for your business. So that is how we use Trello. Like I said, we've moved away from Trello and we're actually using our own CRM, because there are certain things that every tool that we've used to date, there is something that's missing that we need. So we've eventually moved over to our own CRM. And another one of the reasons for that is that we have that data costs more than oil. So data becomes very, very valuable now, and we don't want to hand all of this data over to Trello. We want to have a CRM system, a customer relationship management system of our own that we have control over. We have the security over, which is the reason why one of the reasons we moved away from Trello. The main focus, or the main reason for it, is that there are just certain things that Trello can't do that we need to actually develop ourselves, which is the reason why we've moved over to a CRM system. Okay, all the best, and I hope that is very helpful. Tomorrow I'll discuss Google Drive. You might be using Microsoft products, so in your case, I think it is called OneNote or something like that. It is a way to bring everything together in a single virtual folder that everybody has access to. So I'll discuss that tomorrow, and then I'll move over to G Suite, which is similar to Office, Microsoft Office. So I'll do these videos over the next couple of days. All right, all the best. Good luck with coronavirus. I hope that this is very helpful, and we can then get more work done from home. We're spending less time on the road, less pollution. Fiber is being put down like ridiculously fast here in South Africa, which is great. I can't remember how many companies there are, but there is a lot of companies that are now no longer does Telkom hold a monopoly over telecommunications. We've just heard very recently that big companies like MTN and Vodacom, they're all dropping their prices, which I feel is very late. It's ridiculously late when you compare what data costs in other countries. We have finally moved towards something that's more affordable for everybody, and it just gets things done. It's if we prevent the flow of communication, there's no ideas that are flowing, and ideas is what keeps us busy. It's what creates new stuff. So we need to be able to prevent those bottlenecks from happening. All the best. I wish everybody well, and I hope that you're safe, and we'll chat tomorrow. Cheers. Bye.